Hello everyone, I'm Broughy1322 and welcome to week 66 of the Choking Hazard podcast where, yes, I did forget. Oh, and it's gone to the wrong... I did forget to set the title. It's gone to the wrong session on the OBS because RDT's not here, so it just had a little box with RDT and no camera. So, sorry. I'm sorry for being a mess. Alright? I'm sorry. What can I do? Like, you should be aware of what's going on by now. This isn't a professional... endeavor. As usual, I've got my usual co-hosts, Nos over there.
I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
Josh is over there.
I shave once a month and it's for this podcast.
Oh my god.
That's why I'm always clean shaven. It's just for this every time.
Well, I mean, at least someone is making an effort, I suppose. RDT is obviously not here. As
He's probably skiing in the Alps or wine tasting in Martha's Vineyard or something. There's no telling.
I think after last week's discussion, he's probably having lots of sex.
Oh yeah,
after
probably.
a podcast after dark.
Yeah.
Yes.
For anybody who listens or didn't see that on the channel, on the podcast channel, I would recommend watching that. That was a good little chat after last week's podcast, and it went up on the
We're gonna have
the
another
podcast
one.
channel.
We gotta have another one this week.
Oh, are we? As it used to be. We've also got Hammer in the booth, but whether he's still in the booth, his connection isn't allowing him to always be in the booth. But he's here at the minute.
I'm here and I don't shave at all.
Well, you're on camera.
Exactly.
So, yeah, very Nos was saying this in the pre-show just before we started. Very Josh-centric episode today, it seems. Lots of things in the notes about Josh.
Tons of things that Josh has done.
Yeah.
Kind of worried about that. Do we have to do all the Josh things?
Well, we can bash the first one out of the way quickly. Like, you played Gfred recently for the first time.
Straight into it. Okay, yeah.
But Nos is now wanting to blow his brains out.
So not that deep, but it's so bad.
Nos, what would your advice have been if Josh had come to you before last week and said, "Look, I'm thinking of joining a Gfred next week with Broughy." What would your advice been?
He's gonna say don't. Yeah.
Easy. It's terrible. It's terrible. Go play Random All instead. Go play the fun one that people watch. Okay, Random All is fun. Gfred is not fun.
How was your experience, Josh?
Well, funnily enough, that is what I joined for, was Random All.
See, okay.
Yeah, I saw Broughy streaming 5M, and I was really bored that day. And I already had GTA 5 installed for the first time in forever, because I was like, I will maybe talk about it later, but I was scoping out games for my birthday mini marathon. So I installed GTA 5 just in case I wanted to play it. And then, yeah, Broughy's playing 5M. And I was like, oh, okay, 5M's not that big. I'll download it and surprise and just join without saying anything. An hour of trying to connect to your flipping server later because I had to read massive walls of texts and go through a bunch of hoops.
Oh, yes.
And, thankfully I was subscribed to you and I had to wait for the bot to realize I was subbed so that I was allowed. And then, after all that, the server was too full anyway, so I had to sit there and watch your stream like a hawk and wait for the little person disconnected message above the minimap and slam the join button. Like some, I don't know, obsessed Broughy fan.
You could have avoided this if you had just contacted one of us and been like, "My name is Josh. I would like to join," and we were click, and you're fine.
I didn't want the attention. I was thinking of joining under another name or something. Just wanted to play. I was so bored. I'm inserting myself into enough of Broughy's content, podcast and iRacing. I didn't want to be like 5M.
Josh now knows what 90% of viewers feel like, says Dorogen in the chat.
Well, did you get to play Random All though? That's the question.
So I did, right? After an hour of trying to connect, they were on I don't know, their last Random All or whatever. And I get into it, and it's everyone's having a good laugh, and Broughy's talking about how fun this one is. We all started in drag cars or something, right? I don't know.
Yeah. That was a good one.
And I was having a good laugh, and I was driving, and people in the chat were like, "Did Josh just connect? Was that Josh?" Right? I think you said you were looking for me, right, Broughy?
Yeah, I think I saw your name once, and I was like, Wait, was that? And then I never saw
Yeah.
you again for some reason.
Yeah. Because after that, 9 p.m. happened and my internet died.
Oh yeah, that
because
was it. That's why
that's
I've
a-
got that in the chat. What's the
that's the
deal with
thing.
that?
So I don't know why, but okay. So when I moved into this flat, I bought the best internet I could, and I was prepared to do the whole swapping internet thing to get good service or whatever. But thankfully, the very first internet I bought was perfect because I don't care about hitting the exact raw speed they say. I care about consistency because I stream a lot.
Yeah.
Internet dying in the middle of the stream is pretty annoying. And that internet I had was flipping perfect. There were only ever we had one thing where when I turned my computer off at night, sometimes the router would reset because it was like changing IP address or whatever. That's a thing that happens. They need to change IP every now and then, and that was convenient because it knew I was plugged into the first wired port or whatever, so it knew, I'm the most important thing. So when my internet turns off, my computer turns off, the internet reset. Really annoyed Emma, but perfect for streaming because if I turn
It's
my
never
internet
going
off,
to
I'm not
drop out.
streaming.
Yeah.
So that worked really well. Though we had occasional dropouts or whatever, but never anything that was a problem. But then years and years and years pass and my internet speeds is not good anymore. And sometimes I get emails or offers or letters or something telling me what speeds I can get from other people. I'm like, oh, that's 2 times better and then 3 times better and then 5 times better. I'm like, okay, I'll have to finally upgrade. And you get better deals if you hop all the time, right? And I was on the internet for 5 years or something. And I'm paying the same, and even though it's not the top of the line one anymore. Well, anyway, I decided to finally bite the bullet and switch. And then I switched to the internet I have now, which is way better and stuff. And it was great. But then we had intermittent problems at the start, but they say, there might be at the start where we sort out settings or whatever.
That sounds like BS to me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, probably. But then but we noticed that every once in a while it would just die and we couldn't figure it out. And I phoned them and I was like, yeah, the internet keeps dropping out. And they're like, okay, we'll send a technician or whatever. So they send, I forgot how this worked because I hadn't had internet problems so long. I used to have loads in my parents' house. But the guy, for those that don't know how the UK internet works, the UK internet infrastructure is owned by one company called OpenReach, and they handle all of it. And then all the other companies that you may have heard of, like BT and EE and some other ones, Sky, they all just use their lines, right?
Well, but I mean, apart from Virgin, right? Virgin
are the only exception.
Yeah.
They run their own lines.
Yeah.
But everyone else just uses the OpenReach ones, which I think is a government-owned thing. I'm not sure. But anyway, the problem is if you ring your internet provider, they don't want to ring OpenReach because they have charged or a limited number of call-outs to them or something. I don't know. But the guy they send me is just a, hello, I'm here to fix your Wi-Fi guy, right? And he walks in and he sees my cables everywhere because, for those that don't know, my router right outside of my hallway, I've got my router hung up on the wall, hang up with cables, with cable ties and stuff, for the best Wi-Fi reception through the house. Because they're not, it looks really dumb, and I have cables running through everything, and it's backwards because the cables come out the back of it. But it doesn't matter, and I get, I'm utilitarian or whatever. It works the best. So the guy walks in, sees that, and I've got cables running through all this room.
Looks like a data center. It looks like a data center in your house.
The guy was like, have you got problems with your internet? I'm like, yeah. He was like, okay. He plugged into my router or whatever, which is funny because it was all the way up there. And then he looked at his laptop. I was like, I don't see anything wrong. I'll change your Wi-Fi channel. And as soon as he said that, I was like, oh, we're not getting anywhere, are we?
Yeah, that's it.
So he was like, well, I could get Wi-Fi reception. Something seems wrong with it. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm using Ethernet. It's the internet that dies. It's not just... So he's just there to help old ladies who don't understand Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah.
So we go through a whole bunch of stuff, and he eventually is like, okay, well, I can't... It's not dead right now, so I can't diagnose it, right? So it's like, yeah, great. So, okay, well, if it happens again... he said, I'll have to mark it as job done or job fixed or whatever because it's working right now and I'm here. But if it happens again, ring again. And I was like, okay.
And I'll come out whenever it's not broken again.
Yeah.
And we'll do this again.
It's so dumb.
So after that, I was like, okay, I'm not getting it. I need to do my own investigation, right? So I started like looking into it and writing down times, and I figured out that it happens at exactly 9 p.m. every 5 days. And when the UK changed time zone, it changed with it. So
That's so weird.
some computer somewhere is redoing something. It's not an IP reset for anyone who's like screaming that or whatever. I've had loads of actual network technicians help me with this. But like, this is why I don't want to talk about it because I get tech supported up the wazoo for it. But it's not like an IP reset or anything like that. I'm used to that because the IP doesn't reset when it happens. And it happens at the same time every day. It's not the router that does it. Because I had... My first piece of advice was to just unplug the router for a whole 24 hours while it happens to change when it the IP resets. So I left it off for like ages until like 5 a.m. one day. I woke up, plugged it back in, and it didn't do a reset. So there's no like timer elapsing that says it needs to reset the IP. And then the next 5 days, it just did it exactly the same time again. So I don't think it's IP reset. It's not under my control. It's something somewhere that changed with the time zone. So has a computer is doing it, obviously. Otherwise, it would like have moved to 8 or 10 or whatever. Right?
Does it change? Like you say, you unplugged it. Does it then, like the 5 days? Is it independent of that? Like if you were to unplug it for 4 days and then plug it back in on that 5th day, would it still do it, or does it go 5 days from when you plugged it back in again?
No, it's consistent whether I've plugged in it or not.
Right, yeah. So there's something on their end that's something they're doing something.
Can't be anything mine, yeah.
That's so weird.
But yeah, I've tried loads of things I just can't figure out, and I can't be bothered to go through the whole process of ringing my ISP again, getting another Wi-Fi guy, because like I can't book an appointment for 5 p.m. on the 5th day, right? They don't come out that late. There's no way I can have someone here when it goes down.
Yeah.
My only hope something built into that router.
I don't know
because every 5 days.
Because I've been on like the ISP forums or whatever. I posted a big thing on the ISP forums of all the data I'd collected, my analysis of it.
You probably seem crazy.
Like, and no one there wasn't a swarm of people. There wasn't a swarm of people being like, "Oh yeah, I have that." The problem is the router I have is like one of their new ones, so it doesn't have it's just called their new smart router, but they've called like 5 different routers that.
Smart.
It's terrible. So I couldn't find anything about it. I've just given up, and I schedule my entire life around this 5 days, 9 p.m. internet death. My birthday mini marathon was perfectly scheduled around it.
Wow.
Where I ended right before it on the first day, and then for the rest of the days I was clear. Right? I have to schedule everything around it. I have like an alert on my phone. It's like, hey, your internet's going to die today. And I have it planned out.
It's crazy.
So that happened during the random oil race, I'm guessing, to circle it back to that. That's why you disconnected.
That's why I was sat here doing nothing, being bored, was because my internet was about to die. But I forgot about it.
How long does it die for? Is it just like a reset, like a 2-minute reset? Or?
It's about 5-10 minutes. It was a while. By the time I got back, the server was full, and I wasn't getting back in.
Yes.
So that's why you didn't see me in the race.
Right.
I left. But then I eventually reconnected like halfway through the one after that, and drove around for a bit, but just tried to stay out the way. And then after that, I was like, okay, let's start one from the start. And then you were like, hey guys, let's do Gfred, lol. And I was like, what's Gfred, senpai? And everyone was like, lol, Josh doesn't know. He lacks critical information or whatever. So then I got thrown into a flippin' Gfred. And let me tell you, as someone who doesn't play GTA 5 and doesn't know the damn map, right? Pretty impossible to do it.
Yeah, it was rough. I mean, it was a rough one for me, and I do Gfreds all the time, and you were having a really bad time.
Yeah, everyone's like screaming rules at me or whatever. It's like, rules. Like, can I just the race started, right? And I took the straightest angle to the marker, which seemed smart. Not that everyone else did it for some reason. And I got to the ocean dock bit first, and I just jumped out and yeeted myself up the stairs. So I was in first, right? And everyone's advice to me was just follow everyone else, lol. So when you're in first, right, there's not much I can do about that. So I'm like running along the road, and I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? And I saw a bike, and I remembered like, oh no bikes, I'm not allowed to steal something until I get to the motorway or something. So I just kept running, no idea where I'm going. So eventually I start typing, but you can't run and type at the same time, unlike MTA. So then I'd start typing to complain, and then also you're not supposed to be talking during races, which makes it a little bit difficult when I don't know what I'm doing. So remember the rules of the servers. Don't talk during races. Like, oh,
see,
shit.
I don't like. I mean, that's. I don't think you should be having conversations on the server. But some fools are militant about that. Like they're like, no,
well, I didn't want to just barge into the server and go, oh, I'm Josh, I'm famous, I'll do what I want, break all the rules. So I was trying to be good about it.
But then again, I own the place. So.
Well, sure, yeah. It's different. Yeah, multi-theft auto. I have it's like for San Andreas. The same thing as 5M, but for SA.
But I'm guessing you're not planning to do a Gfred again in the future anytime soon after that experience.
I'd have to learn the map. And the worst part of all of it was everyone was stood on the motorway looking for cars, and I was like, well, this is fucked. So I left the motorway and ran to the big lake or whatever, and I saw a bunch of cars, and I tried stealing them, but I don't have any guns. And I'm not used to stealing cars without guns. So I was trying to get in the way of them, but I don't know how GTA 5 AI works, so I was just getting ran over by people. Until eventually I finally got a car, but I was way last after this. And then everyone says follow, but the problem is I'm not on the motorway anymore. Everyone's on the motorway, and there's me and 2 other people that went the smart way to find cars on our own. But I didn't know where to go. So I'm just wandering around. I tried to get back on the motorway, and I did, and then I'm just following everyone. By this point, I'm way last. And we drive all the way to the airport, and I see in your chat, people are like, oh, does Josh know about the airport jump? I'm like, oh god, I was thinking I have to jump over a fence or something to get into the airport. So I was I got to the airport, and I'm looking at the fences. I know there's a jump to get into the airport.
Oh, no.
And then I realized the marker is on top of a car park. I was like, oh, shit. So I turn around, and I drive up the fucking car park, don't I, like an idiot. And everyone's taking this massive ramp to the top, and I was like, oh. And then I drove all the way down the car park, because I didn't know you could jump off of it.
You can always jump off the car park. You know that. That's in every GTA ever.
Think about it. I was driving. And then,
oh, man. It feels like it would have been better if people weren't trying to help you.
And then we get back out into the countryside or whatever, and then I'm asking, where do we go, right? And I'm just heading straight towards the marker, and then I come up to that big lake, and in the distance is the whole lake, and then a big mountain in front of me, and the marker's on top of the fucking mountain, and I'm like, well, I have to drive around the lake now. So I drive around the lake. Some people say, take the tunnel or whatever, so I find the tunnel that everyone's seeing. But at this point, I'd given up, and I was frustrated. I was sick of this. And then there was a guy in the tunnel that was just running, so I pull up to him, honk, hey, dude, get in. And he
steals your car and then leaves.
No, he's like, no, I can't. And I was just like, what? So just okay, fine, just take the car. So I got out, and he was like, no, I'm not taking it. So I'm just like, fucking take the car so I can leave, you asshole, right?
That was Benny, by the way, not.
Yeah, but you after the race were like, oh, Josh is so nice. He was trying to give a guy a car. I was like, no, I just wanted to leave. Bro. I didn't want to be nice.
Oh my god.
So then I go up to the mountain, and I still have your stream open, and you're struggling to get up the mountain. So I'm like, oh, I'll give Broughy a push. That'll be funny. And then I bump you, and you're like, oh, Josh, what the fuck are you doing here? I'm trying to help you. And then I get all the way to the top of I remember all of this. I remember I got to the top of the mountain.
Scarred you for life.
I got to the top of the mountain. I got to the marker, and I was like, oh shit, where to go now? And then it's a million fucking miles away, because of course it is. And I don't know any of the map, and everyone's gone by this point. I'm way last. I drove up the mountain, and then I saw you struggling, so I came back down to help you, and then you got angry, and then you went up after me, and then when you were coming down, you were like, "Oh, Josh is driving past," and I was like, "Yeah, because I stopped to help you." Anyway, I get to the top, and then I hit the marker, and then at the top there's a Sanchez. I'm like, hallelujah, a flippin' Sanchez, the perfect vehicle for this. And then I start driving it, and then like I get halfway down the mountain, I'm like, oh shit, wait, I'm not supposed to use bikes. So I'm like, oh crap. So then I turn around, go back up the mountain, and my car isn't there.
Oh,
It's a despawned. And then I get off the bike to look for my car, and I was like, wait, isn't there a parachute spawn? Went over and there's no parachute or anything. So I was like, oh, okay, fuck this, I'll take in the bike. And there's no bike. It's gone, dude. The bike's gone. And I'm on top of the mountain, there's nobody around, everyone's finishing, and I'm on foot with nothing on the fucking mountain. And I'm just like, do I have a parachute? And someone tells me I do, but I need it for the end. I'm just like, I don't care. And I just jumped off the fucking mountain. And I'm parachuting down, heading towards the motorway to try to find a car. And then Broughy says, oh, do you want to end it, Josh? We're all waiting for you. She's like, please, just end it.
Just
So then it
put
ended.
me out of my misery.
Oh my god!
So yeah,
like,
Gfred, when you don't know GTA 5 mechanics,
Oh,
you
don't
play...
even add. Don't even
No.
add. that
There
on.
is some quality to this that could be fun. Right? I see it, but when you don't know the map, you don't know the mechanics. I'm like muscle memorying San Andreas all the damn time. Like, horrible. Horrible
I mean,
experience.
I
don't
knew
know what
you'd
the hell
had
I'm
it
doing.
bad. Like, I knew because you can tell when someone's having a bad Gfred just when you're going around and you see how it's going for them. But for you to now describe it, oh, that's horrific.
Terrible.
I wasn't
Gfred
allowed
is
to type.
terrible.
And I couldn't talk to anyone. Didn't know what I was doing. And everyone just told me to follow other people. I couldn't because I was so far last or in the lead. There was no in between. I was either first or dead last.
Oh,
But when
my God.
I came out that coast first, I was like, shit, I'm gonna win this. I'm gonna show them how good a speedrunner I am. And then I got lost.
And then Gfred happened.
Yeah, and then I get up to the motorway and I'm like, good cars. I'll just shoot the driver in the face, and I right click and nothing happens. So
See, this is the thing. Like, this is what that thought that you'd had when you were in first, and you were like, "Oh, this is gonna go great." That's exactly the thought that everybody in the comments who've never done a Gfred before always thinks that they're it's easy. They're just watching people who know the map and know the Gfred routes do it every week. It's like, why do you make that stupid mistake? It's easy. I could do this. Until they do it for the first time and realize it's.
well, I was
it's
making
what-
stupid mistakes because I didn't know what I was
Yeah,
doing.
at least you have the idea that you've barely played GTA 5 at all. Did you not like open the map to put a marker of where like the next?
I didn't know you could do that. Like, I paused and it's like the weird 5M menu or whatever.
I mean, you
I
can
don't know what
set
the
a
hell's
marker.
happening. I don't know.
You would have had GPS routes to everyone. Like, at least it would have given you something.
I paused as the 5M menu. Like, I know GTA's had markers, but I didn't think it was in 5M. I don't think there was a map.
I wonder if you
I tried looking for a map when I first joined because I was in that weird arena thing.
5M
waiting.
menu. Like when I pause
Yes.
in 5M, I get the map up like a normal GTA.
No, I was just
Menu?
getting the 5M menu.
Oh.
Like
What?
the main menu of 5M. With the game running in the background. That's what I was getting.
What were you pressing
Wait,
to
what
pause?
button were you hitting?
Escape. Like, what else am I going to press?
What's the pause button on keyboard?
Escape, isn't it?
I think it is. I think it might be something different on 5M. I don't know. I know because we use controller, bro. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it is
Right.
escape. Okay, that's weird.
Maybe I set a keybind wrong or the defaults had changed or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what it was on
Don't know.
keyboard.
But yeah, I didn't know there was a flipping map. I was told to just follow people. I wasn't told to put a GPS thing down. That would have been better advice.
That would have been
But
better
yeah.
advice. Well, at
Yeah.
least you did. At least you've experienced it. Now you can
Yeah.
start watching some Gfreds and learn the
No.
route for your next time, and
Oh,
also join
No,
us. And
It's not just
RDT
the
can
route.
come.
It's not just the route. It's like GTA 5 mechanics, like the driving physics, the running physics,
Right.
and everything it was so alien. Like the closest thing I play is GTA 4, but it's very
Yeah.
different.
I see.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. Just
Well,
don't like the
should we
game.
quickly go since that? I mean, I was gonna.
I'm sorry, I took so
There was so much Josh in this podcast that
But
I
this
thought,
is why you
well,
don't make a Josh podcast.
we'll quickly go over the Gfred experience on the internet thing, and like we'll bash that out in 5 minutes.
There's
later.
no quick with me, so I'm gonna go into too much detail.
Your stream
You're
week,
the
your
slowest
stream week was
speedrunner
good,
ever.
right? You were almost going to miss that out, but it's for your birthday, your stream week, and you just had it. And was it good? Was it a good experience?
Yeah, I've done it before.
Yeah. You do it every
Never-
year or something for your birthday.
Yeah, I the past 3 years I've done
Yeah.
it. So the first year I did it, it was because this is getting a little bit more sad now, but the first year I did it, it was because I was at like the limit of like all my debt and everything. I was so behind on rent and like utilities and everything. And I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna. It's my birthday. Let's just sell out because I try to run like sell outless stream or whatever.
Right. Okay.
Waste of time. Waste of
Yeah.
time.
But I was like, okay, I could mentally justify being a sellout for like 1 week, and I'll
Yeah.
frame it as a marathon, and I wrote a big paste bin explaining why I'm asking for money and I'm not raising it for a charity or anything
I
like
see.
that.
Okay.
But yeah, and then it went really well, and I got like £3,000 or whatever. I paid off all my debt, bought new computer parts, all sorts of stuff, and it like. If Josh Done Quick 1 hadn't have happened or hadn't have gone as well as it did, I probably wouldn't have kept streaming.
Right. Okay. It was that serious.
Yeah.
Right.
It was do or die situation, right? And then the next, but the first year I did it, it was 7 days. And for those, it was like the schedule is like literally 12 hours of streaming, and then when that ends, I do a rerun of the 12 hours. So for the people who missed the start, like Americans or whatever, they can watch the start again. And then when that rerun ends, I start streaming live again.
Right.
And then another 12 hours, and then like this, right? So
I see.
it's like a half on, half off thing. I did that for 7 days. I can find the schedule. Let me see. I need to log in. Stupid Hararu. Come on, log me in. Josh Done Quick 1. Yeah, it was 7 days. But filling 7 days with speedruns of games that I know is kind of hard, because I like to speedrun lots of different things, but people only watch San Andreas. So
Okay.
it's like I
Yeah.
have to do SA,
I see.
so then I can't do other things. But I did it like it's basically a bunch of San Andreas with other stuff I've done, but with no practice. So there's like GTA 3, but with a really old 2013 route that I sort of knew. Minecraft Bingo, Red Dead Redemption, Pokemon Blue, Red, Blur, stuff like that. But the thing is, my thinking was that, okay, I can't do San Andreas every day because I'm going to get sick of it. So in the middle of the marathon, I'll have 2 days that don't have like much GTA in them. Big mistake, because I made absolutely no money and no subs on those 2 days. It was totally pointless. And I extended the marathon 2 days pointlessly. And Emma
That's so
is doing-
demoralizing.
Emma is doing all the donation reading and stuff for me. She didn't turn up for those 2 days. She just stayed asleep. There's no point. So then the second one, I made it 5 days instead of 7. And it's just, there's at least one GTA people actually care about every day.
Right.
Like SA or 4 or one of the other ones. And the second one was only GTA. Yeah, that was it. I cut all of the
Wow.
The only non-GTA was Red Dead Redemption, Undead Nightmare.
That's cowboy GTA, so it's
Yeah, but
it's
people
all right.
don't care those.
That's a shame.
And then this year I did the same thing. At 5 days, there was less GTA this time, though I did do other stuff. But the main premise is that at the end of the marathon, I have like a 12-hour San Andreas run right at the end of the marathon. That the category for it is determined by the donation amount I get during the marathon. So this year it was Chaos Mod, 12 hours of Chaos Mod, which is like a mod that just makes the game ridiculous. But then there's another mod called a Rainbowizer, which randomizes everything as well. So Chaos Mod adds in like random effects and stuff like that, like tanks spawn, or everyone's on fire, or all the tires get popped, or you just die instantly, or you get teleported, stuff like that. But Rainbowizer, it randomizes it. and it's like there's loads of different levels of random you could do. So the donation goal was like, okay, if I don't make any money, there won't be any randomizer. If I get £500, I'll randomize the voice lines because that's the one I normally use. It just makes it whenever someone talks, it's like a random voice line. Side fact: did you know there are so many unused voice lines in San Andreas?
Oh yeah,
it's so great. There's a voice line where Sweet just shouts "oil." It's hilarious every time. Anyway, yeah. So I had so it's just 12 hours, the big final run or whatever, and yeah, I've set a thing where if I make more than £3,000 in donations, I'll donate the excess to charity because that seems like a good amount to do as the baseline of the first one and stuff like that. So if I got to 3,000, I would have enabled experimental randomizer settings, which the dev told me is a really bad idea and will crash the game a whole bunch. But I was like, if I get there, I get there. Thankfully, I didn't.
And that's what I raided you on that Sunday, and you were playing Chaos mod, I think. So it looked ridiculous.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had sub mode on because chat gets really dumb during San Andreas. But
yes, they do.
Yeah, I don't use sub mode for anything but San Andreas.
They're terrible. Why is the San Andreas speedrunning community so terrible?
The speedrunning community isn't the viewers.
Well, you know what I mean.
Problem.
The viewer community.
Don't know why.
They're awful. All of them. They're homunculi, dude. Like they're terrible.
It just feels like when I'm just streaming for a bunch of 12-year-olds. It's really weird.
Oh, really?
I don't know why. I've thought about it long and hard, and I don't know. I can't figure it out because
they weren't even alive when the game came out.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't understand why kids are watching it. So it can't be kids, right? And it's not just because it's on mobile, because the other two are on mobile. I'm not the only one who has this. All other GTA speedrunners, only SA. It gets way more views than any other game, but all the views are terrible. At least the ones that talk. It's really weird. I don't know why.
That's so strange.
Yeah. And I'm not just being facetious or whatever. It's literally I can't stand it, right?
Wow.
Anyway, yeah, so yeah, you raided during that, and it's I'm at maximum stress, and then Broughy raids. It's I'll be happy, Josh. Hello, Broughy. Everything's going great. Yeah, in those 12 hours of that run, I only got out of Los Santos, and I had just barely finished Badlands before the 12 hours were up. Which, for reference, would be 2 hours into a regular speedrun. Or less now, actually. Hour and a half now into modern speedruns.
Wow. But you raised some good money for yourself during the week. That's good.
Yeah. I hate thinking about it, but I justify it that, I do so much charity work.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look after yourself first and foremost before you can start doing and thinking about a charity.
I try to keep it just that, my stream is for me, and all the charity stuff is on other speedrun marathons and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. It's
you do need to eat. That is true, as Mini Mama sits in the chat.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so this time, it being my birthday and everything, this is when I take my headset off and leave for a surprise.
Oh,
a surprise!
I don't know if this is going to fit in the room, but I'm going. Please let me stop.
It's a motorcycle.
No, I got a bike.
Close.
There you go.
A new bike?
I didn't plan this at all. Hello.
You got a new bike?
New bike. Brand new bike, yes.
Oh.
I got absolutely sick of that other bike, and I'm sick of secondhand bikes, and I don't want to ever have one ever again.
Okay. That didn't take long.
No, but that other bike I had, it works, and I could get everything to a working state, but it's this really weird problem where after riding it for about 10 minutes, it starts to screech and squeak like crazy.
Okay.
And I can't figure out what it is. I've lubricated everything. The only thing I can think of is that something rotating is heating up to a point where it starts to screech.
Right.
But only when I'm riding it. I can sit here and move the crank as much as I want and spin the wheels. I can never get... How do you diagnose something that only happens when you're riding it for
yeah, that's difficult,
minutes? I can't fix it. And the gears were all broken. Well, I bought a secondhand bike for Emma as well. I think I talked about it.
Yeah.
Did I show it? Yeah. Did I talk about how I'm talking about my trip to get the really rusty bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one we just couldn't get the chain off or whatever. The one that she has, yeah, it's too small for her. She can't. We found out in the end after trying to get her to ride it that she can't actually rotate her legs on the pedals.
Oh, because
Like the whole, she can't do a whole rotation.
Right.
So, yeah, that's another story. But anyway, yeah, I got a brand new bike. Who wants to play Price is Right with how much I paid for this bike?
£599.
Okay, Nos.
Drew, I'm gonna say $649.
Is Hammer connected?
I don't know how much bikes cost.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I think that's the point, right? So
Like
this
200
bike,
bucks? I don't know.
okay, this bike. Do you know how the GPU market is right now?
Uh-huh.
The bike market is like that.
Oh, I think I
yeah,
remember you
bike.
saying about that last time. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
This bike cost me $849.99.
Wow. That's more
Yeah.
expensive than I would have expected.
And this exact bike 2 years ago was £600.
So I was actually right for what it should be.
The retail price, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, MSRP. You were right.
Yeah.
So, wait. Where's my? So, this is a 2021 Decathlon Triban RC 520 XL, which is the flagship model of bike by Triban, and totally out of stock everywhere. But I got one, and today I'm going to review it.
The quirks and features.
This is the quirks and features. Yeah. So this is Decathlon's like a sports brand or whatever, and they have a brand of bikes called Triban, which is their like entry level comfort endurance racing bike. Link to specs is just Google RC 520.
Just
I'm
Google.
sure you'll find it.
How did you get hold of it then? If it was such a
So on the run up to Josh Done Quick, I'd done tons of research. I was originally going to buy like a Trek AL. No, was it a Trek? It was something AL2 that I'd found, and I'm like looking at all the specs, and I'm learning about bikes and researching and stuff. And then eventually I find this, and this bike, I know it sounds really expensive, but the specs of this bike are like way better. Like it doesn't have the brand, like it's a Walmart bike basically, right? Like the sports Walmart.
The
okay.
Adventure Force. The Adventure Force bicycle.
But this
the
is
Sam's
like
choice.
the way I explain it is like all the bikes I was looking at and comparing from other people, they were like, you know, I could get like, I was comparing it to like GPUs. I could get like an NVIDIA like 2550 or something, you know, 2050, or like or if I paid like an unreasonable amount, like £1,000, I could buy a 2060 or whatever. This is a 2080, right? Like basically in terms of specs.
Right. Okay.
The like gears, the group set. I know words. The group set is a Shimano 105 mostly. Some of it isn't because they cheaped out on some of it, but it's still like a Shimano 105 is like 2 levels above what I could have bought.
Is
Like
this what people feel like whenever I talk about cars?
this is it. Yeah. This is the exact thing, Nos. When you're talking about like engines and you know transmissions and whatever it is, this is it. This exact feeling.
Yeah, it's got. Lift this. It's got. Oh, you can't really see it. It's got disc brakes, so there's no
Oh, that's
rim
pretty
brakes.
sick. I know what those
actual
are.
disc brakes. Yeah. Oh, come on, please go down. I didn't plan enough room for this. The bag and the water bottle I've added. Don't worry about that.
Have you actually been using it? Like, have you?
Every single day.
Oh yeah.
Almost, except for like 2 days since I bought it.
You've been enjoying
Oh yeah,
it then?
yeah, hell yeah. The stock level, yeah, that's right. So leading up to Josh Done Quick, yeah, I looked around all other bikes, and then I heard about Decathlon, and I found this bike, and the stats are like the ones of a 2000 bike from a brand,
Yeah.
right? And I'm like, holy shit, I want one of these. And I look, and the one I actually wanted to get was a Triban RC 500, which was like £649, which is the one below this. But they didn't have any stock of XL, and I'm an XL, not weight but length, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm too tall.
Long boy.
They didn't have any XLs. They didn't have any Ls, which I could maybe squeeze to. It was all Ms, S, and XS. But then I looked at this, and this is like the step up from that, like £200 more, which was way more than I was planning to spend. But yeah, they had 10 XLs in stock when I first saw it, and that was like weeks before Josh Done Quick. Right? And then I'm like staring at the stock level, and like I was posting in my Discord with my subs talking about it like every day. I would give a stock update, and it was going down and down, and then it got to like 5, right? And it was before Josh Done Quick, and I didn't have any money. And I was like waiting for the 15th for Twitch to pay me, just waiting for the 15th of the month. I wasn't going to pay rent. I was going to ignore rent, and I was going to buy this with the Twitch money. Yeah, and the stock was getting so low that we were talking about maybe organizing someone lending me money for it or whatever. But the problem is that I've actually planned to review this bike and use it for content, so I'm going to mark it as a business expense.
Well, yeah, fair enough.
If I have someone send me money and then I buy something as a business expense and then send the money back, probably doesn't look that
Probably
great.
a bit of a grey area somewhere.
Yeah,
there,
I didn't want to do it, so I was kind of like, I don't really want to do that. But then I looked at the history of Twitch payouts, and it's supposed to be on the 15th, but you may have noticed, Broughy, sometimes it's like 13th, 14th.
Yeah.
There was one time it was the 12th. So I was just praying for an early payout. And then on the 13th, while I was asleep, I got the blessed email, woke up the 14th, there were 4 in stock or something. I bought one, and then I felt an immense guilt for the rest of the day. This is the most expensive single thing I've ever bought.
Wow.
The second my GPU, when I bought it on a whim, one iRacing stream because my GPU couldn't handle Daytona, so they had an impromptu donation fest for me to buy it.
I remember you talking about that. Yeah,
my GPU was £500, and that was like mind-blowing and expensive. That's the second most expensive thing I've ever bought. This is $849. I felt horrendous after buying it.
Man, you shouldn't though. Wow.
No, you should feel good or whatever. So then
you deserve to have things, Josh. You deserve to have good things.
So there is a decathlon in Portsmouth, so I decided to have it sent there instead of here because I didn't want to build it. So I picked decathlon, and then it was going to arrive Monday, and the marathon started Wednesday. And then on Monday, I get an email from some guy who spoke terrible English at Decathlon in Southampton, which is the city next to me. And he said, hey, we have your bike. I don't know why. Do you want to come pick it up? So I was like, So I'm like thinking of options. And I'm like, I could get the train to Southampton and then take the bike on a train back. Yeah, not ride it back. But
yeah. I don't know how far Southampton is to Portsmouth.
It's quite far, but I've never ridden the bike. I've never ridden like drop handles and stuff.
Right, okay.
But anyway, but and I was looking into options and stuff, and I was like, but what if they don't assemble it and I have to carry a box on the train? And it's an £850 bike. I don't really want to take it on the train back to Portsmouth, right? But I can't imagine the train from Southampton to Portsmouth is that great. So I was like, no. It's like, can you send it to Portsmouth? And then, he sent it to Portsmouth. But the problem is it arrived Tuesday, which was the day before Josh Done Quick. So I'm like trying to prepare for Josh Done Quick and stuff. And then on the Tuesday, I get the email. I go straight up there. I get an Uber up there, and I go past a Google car. So I need to see if I'm on Google Maps later.
It takes a while. I'm on Google Maps now, but it takes like 6 months before they actually process it.
But I got up to Decathlon, walked up to the click and collect bit, waited there for ages. The guy finally saw me. I showed him my thing. It was like, oh, you want upstairs, the bike bit. I was like, oh, fuck's sake. So then I went up. There was a girl at the bike bit. I showed her. She was like, oh, yeah, okay. And she walked at the back, and she didn't. I was expecting her to bring a box out, but she just walked out with the bike fully assembled and everything. I was like, oh! And she showed it to me. She was like, yeah, you've got 2-year warranty. You've got the frame for life. You come back in 3 months. We'll do a maintenance service thing on it for free. She blah, 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 running through all these things for me. I was like, yeah. And she was like, and she like looked at my hip, put the saddle up to my hip, and she was like, there you go. And I was like, I just had an £850 bike, and I expected some kind of like checks or something, or fanfare or whatever.
No, there it is. You bought it. There it is.
Yeah. So then I take it down the stairs, and then I don't know what you guys know I look like, but I have like long hair. I was wearing like a kind of ripped shirt, and I had my crappy jeans on, which were all messed up. And I walked up to the entrance, and the security guard stopped me and told me, "Hello, I need to see a receipt for that, please." I didn't have a receipt because the lady didn't give me one because I click and collected. So I was like, So I tried to show him my email, and he sat there scrolling on my phone through my email a little bit. It gets to the bit where it says 849, looks at me, looks at the bike, looks back to my phone, is like, is this fake? He must be thinking to himself, right? Eventually, the guy I originally asked walked over and said, no, it's fine, because he knew I was waiting for the bike or whatever. So the guy let me go. It was hilarious. I must have looked. I didn't look like I could afford it, right? The bike was more expensive than the clothes I was wearing. That's for sure.
He's like, really? You bought this?
Yeah.
No.
And I remember he gave me my phone back, and he looked at me and went, "Nice bike, mate." I was like, "Thank you." And I just left. But then I had the problem of trying to get the bike home. Decathlon in without doxing myself. Decathlon in Portsmouth is right next to a motorway, and there's no way to get back onto Portsea Island without crossing that motorway.
Oh God!
So I was like, I don't really want to ride it. What I did notice when I had to take the bike downstairs, you know when you lift something and it's like way lighter or way heavier than you think it is, it's a really weird feeling, and you do like this. I lifted the bike and I went like that.
Wow, very light.
It's like got carbon fiber on it. It's like aluminium and stuff. The bike I was using is like literally twice like the weight of that. But yeah, then I was talking to Emma, and I was like, there's nowhere good to like try to ride the bike because there's no bike lanes, there's all roads, like motorways everywhere. But I managed to brave up a bit. I tried to sit on it. The saddle is like really high, but as high as you're supposed to have it. And I got on it, and I was really wobbly. And then I realized I have no idea how drop bar handles work. Every bike I've ever had before this had flat handlebars, like a normal bike.
Yeah.
You know, you've got like flat handles.
I mean, you've got a flat bit that you can still use, though.
Sure, but the problem, bruv, is that the controls are all over here.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
It's like way in the inside.
Yeah,
you have no the angle is messed up. That is a position you can use. I've learned it's like the reason it's like this is because there's loads of different positions you can to change.
I used to have a bike like that at one point, but yeah, they take a bit of getting used to.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing, and I sat on it, and I was like, "Oh," and I put my foot down, and I just fucking went. And I'm just like, "Oh my god, this is a rocket ship!" Right? Like, it was like stupid. I've never just like I talk about it, and people are like, "How could a bike be fast?" But I don't know. You tell me. This bike's fast. Like,
the gearing.
It just fucking went. Yeah, I'm like riding along the motorway, like next to it. I'm just like, "Oh god, don't die!" You know, the bike, having the bike and stuff.
I like what Emma just put in the chat. He rang me and I had to find out and describe how the brakes work. Meanwhile, all I hear is wind and, "Oh shit, this is fast," and random Josh screams.
Yeah. I mean, I understood how the brakes were. It was the gears, Emma, but the brakes you just pull. Like, I don't know how that works. But the gears are in the brake.
Yeah,
so I don't
you
want to do it, so I'll fuck it up. But I have to, like, there's two individual sections of this that move independently, and you click them both inwards towards the bike to change, like, up with the big ones or down with the little ones or whatever. So I was like, I had no idea how it worked. I was just stuck in one gear. And that area of Portsmouth is not the nicest area either. It's like industrial area and then like council houses and bad things. I was like, I didn't want to get out of here. But yeah, I very slowly walked and rode it home. And I've completely destroyed my jeans because it got eaten by the front sprocket.
But now you're enjoying it a lot.
Yeah, even though Joshton Quick was happening, I have ridden it every day. I'm a really early bird person. I wake up like 5, 6. Whenever the sun rises, I kind of just wake up. I can't help it. But Joshton Quick wouldn't start till like 10 or whatever. So I just went out and rode it before stream. But yeah, it's crazy how much better than like any other bike I've ridden it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was one day I didn't ride it before the Chaos mod because I woke up kind of late and I didn't want to tire myself out before 12 hours of Chaos mod. And then there was another day I didn't ride it because of something else. But that's been like, well, I mean, what's the date? That would have been like it's been over 2 weeks, and I've only missed 2 days of riding it. Like,
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
oh wait, sorry, 2 weeks? Yeah, it's
interesting.
almost been 2 weeks, sorry.
Something that I find interesting is that we've had basically 2 topics now that were meant to take like 5 minutes each.
Which they don't have Josh topics only. We're going to be here for hours. That's what I said.
I like what, I think it was DeRojan that put in the chat. He said, like, Josh does everything quick as a speedrunner except this podcast.
Yeah. It's not just any...
Like,
I like talking with Josh. Quit roasting him, okay?
no, it's good. It's good. I like hearing the stories.
Sorry,
but
I feel like need to go into details. I'm
I
sorry.
was literally just like, I was thinking, okay, we'll just quickly go over how Josh's stream week went, because then I can come in and say, oh, I'm having my stream week next week. And I thought, oh, well, then I could just mention that, and then we'll move on to Nos. And like, here we are after.
I'm sorry. I didn't even talk about the damn bike itself, but yeah, it's...
Well, tell me more about the
You
bike.
talked plenty about the bike itself.
Well, I haven't talked about the little drop bar mirrors I have on it. Can you see that? You can't really see it. There's a mirror here.
Ooh.
I mean, for Nos to say, is this what I sound like when I'm talking about cars? I think you talked enough about the bike.
Okay. All right. It wasn't me who said it, but yeah. Okay. All right, fine. It has hydraulic and cable brakes mixed together. That's the last thing I'll say.
Hydraulic and cable. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the brake pads are compressed by hydraulics, but the controls are cable.
Oh, okay.
Because all hydraulics are too expensive.
Yeah. No,
Oh, yeah,
I'm just ripping. Like we like the stories.
Okay.
I just find it
Can you
funny.
do wheelies? Can you do a wheelie?
I'm not doing a wheelie on this. I can't afford to break it. Are you
I
serious?
can afford to do a wheelie.
I've looked into bike insurance. I need to buy like a £100 D-lock that comes with an extra chain thing and is like certified gold or whatever. And then I need to buy like £800 a year £100 a year.
£800 a year. Holy shit!
Yeah, sorry, £100 a year bike insurance.
Even that's still expensive.
This has only been in my flat or in my parents' house. I'm not leaving this out of my sight anywhere.
No.
I can't afford to lose this.
No.
Like, yeah, I don't mean to like rip on the whole one, poor lol, but this is really fucking expensive.
Yeah. £100 a year for bike insurance, though. That's like half as much as I pay
because
for my
the bike
car.
is like £850.
Yeah, but my car's worth like 11 grand, and my insurance for that's like
bikes get stolen like all the time, right? Like
cars get stolen all the time.
not as much as bikes.
Yeah.
That's still
You can't
incredibly
walk off with
expensive.
a car.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you could like disable the engine in a car and people can't steal it. I could like stop the wheels. I could disconnect the fucking cable and everyone would still just pick it up.
Yeah, I guess.
Like it's
Still.
light as hell. Like,
That's
I
a
mean,
lot.
and you live in a country like you guys cannot have pickup trucks over there because you're all thieves. You just sit at a stoplight and someone just grabs the stuff out of your pickup truck. That's why you all have vans.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's true.
yeah, I'm really addicted to just riding it around every day.
That's good.
It just seems really fast. I don't know. I bought like a bunch of accessories. I got a bag, bottle, helmet, blah 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 blah. Yeah,
That's good to
riding
hear.
bike a lot.
I'm glad the biking is continuing and even improving and increasing.
I'm still trying to mentally justify £850.
You using it every
you
day
don't
is
have
all the
to.
justification
Yeah.
that's needed.
Well, tell Emma that.
If you enjoy it, you don't have to justify it. People will get to enjoy life, Josh.
Don't-
Sorry to tell you.
I might be going too
Landlord
far.
says otherwise. But...
So yeah, my stream week. Just to follow on from
Go on,
the
before I
quick
keep
little
going.
intro to that. My stream week is next week. Well, not next week as we're talking now, but like the week after. Well, it starts next week, at the end of next week, I suppose. We're doing Random All Marathon on the weekend, back to back Random Alls, all 99 of them being played, and then we'll come in and do the 100th Random All, and then a week of streams. And I think most of it isn't GTA, and people like that about these stream weeks, so that's good. Yeah, it should be fun. I'm building one of my cars in GTA, my favorite car. I'm building it as Lego. That's going to be interesting.
Ooh.
All the same colors,
wow.
the same model.
Like the
Everything.
real world version, or is it some kind of like
it's like a custom. Mania, who is in, I don't think he's in the chat now, but he contacted me because I've wanted to do that for a while. I have like the Audi Quattro Lego set, and I thought maybe I can like get the right colors of pieces if I can match them up and create an Omnis look-alike. But then he contacted me when I said that and said he has like a little Lego shop, and he made this setup for me. Like he's given me all the instructions and all the parts that I needed to buy in like an XML file, so I could just upload it to this site and buy it from the sellers of bricks. And I've got all the bricks from all the Lego pieces, and now I'm going to build an Omnis.
You see, I know someone who sells individual Lego bricks. They like buy sets, break it down, and sell the individual ones. I could never understand why people would buy individual ones. But now there's a tool that specifically gives you a list of all the ones you need. You just auto buy it. It makes so much sense.
I uploaded just this list that he gave me, and it did it all for me, and just from the different sellers and things. I'll try to get an image of it. Okay, here we go. I'll show
Brick
this on
Market or something like
that. Bricklink is the site that I used.
Right. Okay.
But I'll show you the Omnis. So, right, this should
work.
Yeah. Okay. So this is my Omnis in game.
Ooh.
And this is how the Lego model will look.
Oh, cool.
I like that.
It's really cool. Like that, I'm gonna make that.
Okay, here's a question: are you gonna paint it with the livery?
The livery is something that I'll have to. Well, yeah. I mean, there's the stickers and stuff that like the car number and things like that. That might be the next step later on down the line. For now, we'll just start this. And then that's something that's gonna happen during the stream week. So it gives an idea of like the sort of things that we do on the stream week.
Wrong layout. Okay,
yeah, I was about to say the same thing.
So yeah,
Ooh.
It should be fun.
Is your stream week as sellout as mine is?
It used to be. It's gotten less sellouty.
Okay.
Because I did it initially.
Ruff's part of the 1% now, so he doesn't have to sell out.
No, I initially did it as like a push to 500 subscribers to get like the better deal with Twitch. That was in 2017, and then I just thought, all right, we'll do it again. I think it combined with September, which in the first year was actually really good, and then ever since the September promotions have been awful. But the next year in 2018, it was like pushed to 1,000 because we were on the sort of the sub increase had happened enough that 1,000 was an attainable goal, and then it was pushed to 1,500. Then last year it was pushed to 2,000 subs, but half of the sub revenue. Yeah, but half of it was going to go to charity because I thought, okay, 2,000 is too many, but okay, well, let's do half of it going to charity. And now 2,000 to do another 500 would be way too much. So like,
no, it wouldn't, because I forgot about this. Josh Done Quick, I had sub goals, and the most subs I've ever had is like 700. I set a sub goal for 1,000 to learn San Andreas 100% as a joke. I hit it on the first day because subs are cheaper now.
Subs are cheaper now. That's true for most people. Yeah, that's true.
I got
not me,
not you. How come?
My sub
I saw that in Discord. Yeah, Twitch contacted you or something because they said, we've lowered the sub prices, but we couldn't do it for you. Sorry.
Yeah.
What the hell?
So they've basically said, in order for me to get the cheap prices, only for Broughy, this happened, by the way, only for Broughy's subscription, I have to unsubscribe from him, and then when it expires, I have to resubscribe at the cheaper price. That's the only way that I can get the cheaper price.
I wonder if it's because of, like, you know, when they all bugged out with their streaks and tenures a few years ago, and I wonder if it's like related to that they did some hacky thing and now you need to do it manually to do the new thing or something. I don't know.
It's fucking ridiculous. They can't do anything right.
It's Twitch, isn't it?
Mm. Okay, I found my sub count 1,300,
Right.
which is like
Well, yeah,
500 more, 600 more than I've ever had. So
Yeah.
you could hit 2,500.
No, because I'm currently at like 750-ish or something. So like tripling, more than tripling that, it's like it's too much.
Well,
So-
but let me ask you a very valuable question. What's the worst that happens if you don't meet that goal? Like, oh no, we're 300 subs away from my ridiculous, unobtainable goal.
Right, and then someone at the last minute will give 300 subs, right?
See, like that right there.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
very simple. It's
Sheep
very
Guy
simple.
with the 10 gift subs. But I don't like
See?
to... Thank you, Sheep Guy, for the 10 gift subs. But I don't want to, I don't want to... I don't know, it just doesn't feel right.
Why could I have not been successful on Twitch? Yeah, why is the one man with no morality the one who was not successful? Oh, I don't want to take advantage of. Oh, I don't think I deserve it. Yes, you deserve. You two make excellent content that people enjoy, that they really enjoy. You deserve success. You both deserve success. Face the reality that you deserve success and allow people to give it to you, okay? Please. I'm begging you.
Well, I've set an unofficial sub goal of 2,112, which is one higher than the sub record that we set last year. So, like, but again, half of it's going to still go to charity. I want to keep that going, but I just wanted to take a bit more of a laid back approach and not like have this push to even more unattainable, because 2,000, even 1,500 a few years ago, that was fairly unattainable, and we only just sort of made it. It feels too icky.
You're
to go
really
too
underestimating. You're really underestimating how cheap subs are for some people.
Now, I don't know why. I mean,
They're more than half price for a lot of people now. It's really, you really should just go 2,500. You'd be surprised. I was shocked that I hit about I'd set like a joke goal. I don't even want to learn 100%. It was a joke, but I have to now.
I don't know. I mean, we'll see how the week goes. Like, maybe that's
wish
like
it
the
didn't feel
stretch
icky.
goal or something, but I don't want to set it as like an official push to it. Is not. I've called them all like push to 2,000 subs and stuff. Like, I don't want to do that this time, honestly. But half of it's
wish
still
you
going to
didn't feel
charity.
icky, man.
You wish what?
I wish you didn't feel icky about it. Like, I mean, you're good enough to deserve all the success that people want to help you attain. So,
Well, I appreciate that, but it's also it's all just like, I mean, I put the charity thing in last year because I felt bad going for 2,000 subs just on its own for me. I mean, that's why I said half of it's going to go to charity. Like, continually increasing it only makes me feel like even worse.
Well, the only reason you should feel icky is if your content isn't good. Is your content bad? No, then you don't have to feel icky.
Your sub count might be higher, but I think your revenue from it will be lower, bro.
Well,
yeah, I'm looking at mine. Like, it's like my numbers. That doesn't seem like 1,300 subs. Well, I'm looking at my revenue figures.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
not as simple as
yeah.
times by 2.5 anymore.
Yeah, that's true. They now that they've changed it all, this local sub pricing,
Yeah.
we're gonna take a hit at some point, I guess.
Well, I think we'll just have more subs in general.
Yeah.
I really think the only problem is when you set sub goals and you say you'll give half of it to charity and stuff then it's a problem because you're actually the sub goals are getting smashed. I've seen it in lots of places, not just my stream.
Yeah.
So you should think about a 2,500 one. Like, don't say it, but just have a plan for it because I reckon you'd get it.
Okay. We'll see how it
and
goes.
if you don't attain that goal, like, you've also got to realize that's not a failure or a shortcoming or anything like that. It's just
that's weird though.
Hey,
Like,
I would like to be here.
Just do what I did and set goals that you don't actually want to hit.
Well, that's the thing. I've never not hit one of those sub goals. So it always feels like if we get somewhere in the vicinity, I'm forcing people to put in more subs or more gift subs or more money than they would otherwise want.
Forcing people to spend money on a Twitch streamer?
Pressuring them in a way that, like, if the sub goal wasn't there, would they really do it, and could they afford to do it? And I don't know.
Well, it's not. You've also got to let go of that. It's not your responsibility to make sure you're not enticing them. It's their responsibility to spend their money wisely.
I know, but it's still like if I'm
putting
putting it out there, that like it's not as if I'm I don't know.
So
Okay.
No. It's not your responsibility to help other people make right decisions, especially on Twitch. If they want to sub to you, I mean, if they don't sub to you, they'll sub to somebody else, or they'll go spend their money on something else ridiculous. So, it's not your responsibility to keep people safe.
Hmm.
Yeah,
we've got a rogue host in the chat.
No, RDT's here.
Oh,
yeah,
RDT's in the chat. This is actually quite a lovely podcast when I'm not on it. It's fun. It's amazing how that happens, isn't it, RDT?
I'm glad that RDT is here right at the moment that I'm going to talk. The most important part.
Oh, man.
I think I'm going to talk. Is it that time?
If I Wondersniff said in the chat, if I get promoted at work, I'm not donating half of my money to charity. Along, neither should Broughy. But
bro, I'm not gonna do. Nah, I ain't doing nothing for no charity. Man,
I don't know. I can't help. It's just a difficult thing to shake. I can't. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, and I understand that. It probably comes from a point of not feeling like you deserve the success that you have when you do. But anyway, therapy aside,
Nos is 10.
So first we'll start with something light, and that is I'm going to link this to you and I think I've shown you this already, but I am finally satisfied with my GTA popularity. What? My properties and vehicles and all of that, and my sorting. I'm finally satisfied. Here is the sheet.
This is a master spreadsheet.
Can I just say, if you need this, GTA Online has gone too fucking far. Oh my god. I had like 3 garages and I was happy with that.
No, this is excellent. I love it. I love what I've done here. So I would like a spreadsheet review from the spreadsheet master as well. Like look at how I've organized the garages and the cars. It's fantastic. But I'm finally satisfied. Everything is themed together. All of the garages look fantastic. I'm very proud of myself for the work that I've done. It's excellent.
I mean, yeah, I know the pain of... you got some little stats there too. I know the pain of trying to sort through all this. It's an absolute nightmare to try and get your head around all these garages and all these cars that you might want, and then a smart way to categorize them and put them all together. So I respect it. The fact that you did it in a spreadsheet, mad respect.
So in the spreadsheet, you'll see on the different garages, there's lines in there that's separating the cars that are grouped together in the garage, if that makes any sense. So, for instance, Arena right there. So you've got the Flash GT and the Drift Tampa. Those are in 2 slots next to each other. And then those are the 3 slots that are, next to each other.
Yeah.
It's more important for the other garages that aren't just the 10 cars, because if you go up and you look at the 10 car, it's just
one side on one side and one side on another. Yeah.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, that's clever.
It looks like I'm reading a speedrun route or something.
Well,
I noticed it with the officer where you had each level separated, but I didn't realize that. I've done that on my office too. I mean, it's just a dotted line through the middle, but I organized them through lap time. So I just have all supers say in the office, and then the highest lap time at the top, and then going down. And I've noted down on the spreadsheet in the order that they are on the list, and that's the same order with the lap time. But yeah, it's good to have these dividers and separators, especially when I'm impressed. Nice job.
Too much for something so useless. Ban this man. Ban this man.
Too much for something so useless.
But yeah, all of they're all grouped together, and
why
even
do you have
my
a 2-car
overflow
garage?
What now?
Why do you have a 2-car garage?
I like that property.
Okay.
It's the blue house up in Paleto Bay with the American flag on the front porch.
Right, okay.
That's right next to Willie's Supermarket. I really like that property. It makes me happy.
And you're
Also,
willing to have that and not have the 10-car slots.
Yeah, but I mean, you could still put stuff in the storage slots. So, like, I have a 6-car garage too. Like, I have one of every, like, property type. Like, I have the original 10-car, like, apartment, and then the update one they had, and then I have the Eclipse one is, like, the Eclipse-specific one. And then I've got a 6-car, which is the one over...
Slots.
Yeah, did you not know that?
I have vague recollections of like having a car in storage in a 6-car garage, but I can't think how that mechanic works. We're talking
just
like
buy a 10-car garage, and when you downgrade, the ones that are in the slots that you wouldn't have are now in storage.
Right.
You can call them through the mechanic, and you can use them in races. They're just not displayed like anywhere.
And
it's just in storage.
if you were to take them out of that like 6-car from the storage and put it into another garage, you wouldn't then be able to put another car into that like slot
Exactly.
again. Yeah, you've got to like if you want
Unless
another
you were
car
to
in
buy
there, you've got to like switch it with another full garage.
Yeah, so if there's any, like, for instance, I have the Rhapsody, the Imperator, the Prairie, and the Valera in storage, like in my 6-car,
Yeah.
and that's just because, like, I had nowhere, like, those cars just didn't fit anywhere for me, but I like all of them and I wanted to keep them.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, kind of like my F620 that I had to get. It's in the MOC, but the MOC has the weapon and vehicle workshop in it, so you can't drive out the F620. You can't see it in any way, but the car is there. So I'm sticking to the goal of whatever we had to do. I think it was an RP goal.
Oh, that's interesting. So if you get the vehicle storage, put a vehicle in there, and then buy the workshop, the
vehicle stays in there, but you just can't see it and drive it out. But you can call a mechanic, obviously, and you can get the MOC to deliver it.
Okay, interesting. Now that I didn't know. But yeah, it's a lot like that.
That's
but
cool.
Yeah, it's great. I'm very, very happy with what I've done here.
It's nice when you get to the end of this procedure and you're like, okay, everything is right, everything's ready. I've done so much work and everything's in the right place and it's all organized. It's all laid down on this spreadsheet.
Yes, it's excellent. I'm very happy. So,
all right, but how many bikes do you have in those garages?
What do you mean, like bicycle? Or, I think some of them have like 3 bicycles on the wall. Because there's space for 3 bicycles in every GTA garage, or all the regular ones.
Oh yeah, I think I remember.
And I think the 6-car has space for 2, and then the 1-car. Ooh, I should buy a bicycle for my 1-car garage.
How many bikes are there in GTA? Like, not that many, right?
There's 5 different. There's the 2 racing bikes.
There's 3 racing bikes, but they're the same bike, just with different liveries, really.
Yeah, there's 3 racing bikes: the Scorcher, the BMX, the Cruiser, and the Fixer. But you can't have
single player only.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Do you want to see mine, Nos? You've showed me yours.
Yes, I sure do. Mine. Yeah. You show me yours, I'll show you mine.
There you go.
Can you link it to me?
Oh, I can. No, I can't. It's private.
I can look at it. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Put it.
It's private. It's just for me.
Oh,
but I'm showing you now. So you got like my sports classics all in here.
Enlarge video to increase clarity. Okay.
Sedans, SUVs. Like I stick to the original classes. I haven't done it like you. I'm planning to have like tuners in the auto shop, like sports tuners, but I haven't figured that out yet.
Ah, okay.
I got 2 in the muscle, and I try to keep them in the same place. So we've got like all the sports cars are in the same property, just with different, garages.
See, this is like differences in our personality, I think. Like like I organize them as an artistic expression of my vehicle collection, and you were just purely utilitarian.
Yeah. Organizing them by lap time as well. Like it's just there's nothing else to go into it. Some of the car names are links because I haven't got them yet, and I haven't got them back. Some of them are links to what the cars looked like before I got reset, that I managed to get most of my cars imaged. I was able to get screenshots of most of them from like old VODs and videos and things, so I could keep a record of what I needed to get back. So there's some that are like that, and then some that are the ones that were in red I don't have any record of, but I just don't have the car yet, so I can just make it however I want, essentially. There's only like 2, 3, or 4 cars more, I think, that I need to get to complete the garage. But the organization's there, at least. Always has been. Nos, do you want to continue?
Is that it? Oh, okay. Okay. Number 2. Thing 2. Okay. Yes, I've got some kind of bad news. I'm broke now. Like I'm actually broke. Like I think I have $100 in my bank account.
That's not broke.
Well, okay, that's my version of broke. Hush. All right.
Josh is over here like, look, number? You tell me wait, there's negatives. That's when you're broke.
Okay.
You have
Fair
room
enough.
in your overdraft?
Well, anyway,
I thought you were talking recently about how like you were in a place where like all the bills are covered with the monthly income and everything's good and
yeah. So I'm probably gonna start doing a stream. Lots of stream begging for money. And I'm
gonna do a stream
because
week?
I paid off the house.
Oh
boys.
yeah,
I paid off the house.
Okay.
That's good.
Yes.
That's why you're broke. That was a good little twist. I like that.
Yep. Paid off the house yesterday. I've probably paid. So my mother financed over $30,000 on it. Like I think 35, 37, something like that. And I've paid a total of probably around 20 of it. Maybe more like 18. But most recently, I've done 3 payments of $5,000 each, and I made sent her the last bit of money yesterday. So this is a brand new update in my life.
That's cool.
So
the house is paid off. It's all yours.
Yep. So our next step is my mother wants to move out. She's gonna leave the nest. My mother's gonna leave the nest and go out into the world, and she wants to
Florida.
No, she's gonna move. She's gonna move to Birmingham. She wants to have a condo.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you did say yes. Yeah.
Yeah, she wants to have a condo. It wasn't 50. It was 35 total. Was the total loan. So I've paid a little over half of it. It's a mobile home, people. Okay, it's a trailer.
Yeah.
It's a trailer that we put on property that we already owned. So.
So when do you have any timeline of when that's going to happen? That your mother is thinking of moving out?
Well, she needs to save up for a down payment. She needs about 20% or so. And those condos are like $150,000 or something like that. So,
okay, question: what's a condo?
Like an apartment. It's like an apartment, but not like nice. Like if that makes sense. It's an apartment that you own, I guess, kind of.
Okay.
So maybe,
sure.
Yeah. So now my mother I think she's got like 4,000 left on her car that she's got, and the car has plenty more life in it, most likely. So, she'll pay off the car, and then she'll have absolutely no expenses because I'm gonna take over the utilities. So, she's just gonna, she's gonna save up,
That's
so
cool.
maybe like a little over a year.
That's good. I'm glad that you're broke.
So-
I'm glad that you're broke because this
Yes.
is the reason that you're broke. Like that's great.
Yes, and I won't be broke for long. It's stacks on stacks, dude. I make so much more money than I probably should. But you know,
Wait, what were you telling me and Broughy?
I know.
You
I'm
earn
not
the money.
I'm not saying I don't deserve it. I deserve it. I do a good job. I'm just saying that you know, I don't know. On paper, I don't know if pizza boys are supposed to make that. I don't know if society was designed around pizza boys making as much money as I do. You know?
That's good. That's good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still
it's
in
good.
that position that you were talking about before, where you're like, you're pretty much earning the most you could at Domino's, whilst still also being able to collect tips from people who you're going out and delivering to, right? So like it all combines to make you're earning more than like the manager say or something.
Oh yeah, I make way more than that. I make around $20 an hour.
Nice.
So I got a raise recently. I make $8 an hour flat rate now. So,
$8 an hour.
Yeah.
Thank God for tips, huh?
Yes, indeed. Because I make $8 an hour or so on my check, and then I make around $10 an hour ish in tips. So
Every time we have this podcast and you talk about this, I feel terrible for not tipping anyone who delivers stuff to me.
no, well, I think people get paid like a reasonable wage. out there,
Yeah,
so
of
you're-
course. But,
So you're cool.
but still, it's still like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Now, if you come over here and you didn't tip, I'd probably get on to you. Because
right.
like wait staff's making like $2.50 an hour or something. It's like
Jesus Christ.
yeah. So, but yeah. The house is paid off. That's big. That's big news. That is big news.
That's really good. Is that
So-
are those both your only life updates? Like is that like is there anything else? I'm waiting for like a third thing that's gonna like bring it all down or something. But if that's it, then we're good.
No, I mean that's mainly it. I
Cool.
I told you last episode that I'm in a relationship, and that's still going really well.
Oh, good.
Good. So there's really no updates there like majorly. It's just
Still
it's
going
just, Yeah, still just going great. I really enjoy it. I really like her. She's very 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 great. So.
And here she is today.
No.
Yeah,
But I
Josh
have
with the
streamed
bike
with her
review.
several times, so yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
you can go watch my VODs.
On camera, or is she like off to the side or something?
No, she's on camera. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
she's not a coward. All right.
Cool. I'm very happy for you, Nos. Genuinely.
Yes. I'm very happy for me too. Life is good.
That's
Life is good.
That's
Good.
great.
So
Let's open up the phone bank. I don't know. Nobody calls in anymore, but it's there if
Yeah.
anybody wants to ask anything.
yeah, come on, just ask me questions.
It's because you don't explain it, right?
Well,
If you're in Broughy's podcast, Discord, and you have some role, right?
regular Twitch subscriber, Patreon supporter, or YouTube member, basically anything that isn't nothing.
Isn't a plebeian. If you're
Okay,
not
if
a
you-
plebeian,
If
You
if
can
you're
ask
friends with
questions.
Broughy or gave him money in any way, you could join
Regular
the
doesn't have to
podcast.
give me money. That's the free route.
Okay, sure, whatever. But then just join the phone bank in the voice chat and ask us a question. You can come on the damn show, dude. Everyone wants to play 5M with you. No one wants to come on the podcast with you.
yeah, no, nobody watches this show. What?
So the next thing that's on the list of things to talk about, whilst we sort out the phone bank and the slew of callers that we have now, we haven't talked about the GTA remakes that are rumored.
Okay. I wrote that down and I was like, is this a thing we talked about last time? Because I'm always
No.
doing that. Okay, good.
I mean, I'm at the minute, I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I still haven't formed a proper opinion, to be honest, I think.
Should we explain it first?
Yeah,
Explain
okay.
my opinion to me, Josh.
I'm not explaining an opinion. I'm objective.
No.
fact.
No. Give me an opinion to have.
Okay.
My opinion is your opinion.
Sure. Okay. Kotaku. Yes, that's right. I said Kotaku came out with a primary source article. So this is just reposted from some other place. And they say that the GTA Remastered Trilogy appears to be real and coming to Switch. That's just their clickbait title. It's coming to all the consoles, but Switch is the one everyone wants stuff to come to, right? And it's the most shocking, so they went with that. But anyway, Kotaku has learned from sources that Rockstar Games may be, there's the wiggle room, remastering 3 classic GTA Grand Theft Auto games. Blah, blah, blah. Basically, they're probably remastering them, and they've found like a source or whatever for it.
I mean, I first heard that this might be a thing like earlier on this year, to be honest. But
you mean from me on a podcast episode a long time ago,
actually,
right?
no, but I can't remember
don't
that.
Remember this?
No, it was from somebody else entirely.
The Australian rating boards rated Grand Theft Auto 3 and the other GTAs.
Oh, yeah. Now I
for
remember.
the Nintendo Switch and multi-platform. They rated them a while back. Yeah. That was like the first hint. There have been a bunch of other hints. Have you guys heard of the Master Chief collection for Halo?
Yeah.
It's like a remastered collection thing for the Halo games. A studio that worked on that, Rockstar bought them. Then also in an investor call, Rockstar released a bunch of data about their games. They, by the way, GTA 5 has sold over 150 million copies. That was another thing from that. But they also said that they were running like, here's our upcoming titles, whatever that they were talking about. And they said that there were 3 classic games being worked on in the investor call. And Rockstar has been going on a death hunt for any GTA mod that improves the game's graphics in any way.
For the original 3D games, right?
Yes, they've been shutting down tons of mods for Free Vice City and SA that have any sort of like graphics enhancement stuff or map combining stuff or anything. And that to me is the most obvious sign of what's happening. Because this is classic like Take-Two, Nintendo, a bunch of other companies do this. Like leading up to you know the Mario Battle Royale game on Switch. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
I don't know if you played that much. Before that, they were hunting down loads of Mario Battle Royale things on the internet. Super Mario Maker, before that came out, they were DMCAing tons of custom Mario maps for old Mario games and stuff, like ROM hacks and stuff like that. So this is a classic sign that a game developer is gonna do a thing. So,
what
I think it's pretty certain.
The thing that like the thing that one thing worries me is that like they might. I know they want to like keep to they're going to try and keep to the originals as much as possible, right? But one thing that I worry about is like the music and the fact that there's no way I can see any way that they'd be able to get every single song. There's going to be like some omissions or something like that.
So before you continue,
yeah,
what everyone is forgetting is that they've already remastered the damn games. They're on mobile. They released them in the 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, I remember those.
Right? They're all terrible mobile remasters because they were done outsourced by War Drum Studios. I think some of them were anyway. But they already cut a bunch of the music.
Yeah.
It already happened.
Yeah,
so they can get most of the music for the 10-year anniversary. We're coming up on, what, the 20th, maybe? So they've already got most of the music before. So I don't think it'll be too gutted music-wise.
Yeah. But the other thing that I don't get is like the rumors suggest that it's being done on Unreal Engine.
I have an answer for that as well.
Okay. Well, the reason that I'll finish my thought is just like from a gameplay perspective and like a feel, like I don't want to play one of these remastered games and feel like I'm playing a different game that's skinned with Vice City or whatever. Like I want to play the original, just better quality, and it feels like changing the game engine completely would do that. Go on.
Yeah, and it makes no sense because Rockstar has a game engine specifically built for GTA games.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
called Rage.
Yeah, the Rage engine that they've used for
Yeah.
like every GTA game in the last God knows how long.
So what I think is that the Kotaku people have heard stuff about Unreal Engine 4 being involved, and they've totally misunderstood it. So if you know about the Master Chief Collection, which again is the devs that have worked on that or been bought by Rockstar, the Master Chief Collection uses Unreal Engine 4 for the launcher. That's it.
Oh, really?
You
Just
start
the
Master Chief
launcher.
Collection. You start Master Chief Collection, and a big fancy menu opens up that's made in Unreal Engine 4. You pick which game you want to play, and then Unreal Engine 4 starts that game in its own engine.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I think is happening. But yes, the other problem is renderware. Yeah, the game engines that they were made in don't exist anymore. There is no renderware was technically just the graphics engine, so they technically were using their own engines already. But
And to be quite honest, I don't know if I would want those games to be remastered like in a way that does feel different, because game engines now, you play games now and then you go back to the 3D era GTAs and they kind of feel terrible in a way. Like to casual gamers, at the very least. I mean,
It's difficult to get used to
who-
the controls. I remember that when I played Vice City a while ago. Like,
yeah. I know playing San Andreas, the only way that I was able to play San Andreas to enjoy it was the fact I could use the mouse and keyboard. Like, if I had to play with a controller with the auto aim and stuff like that, like, it would have been awful. It would have been an awful, clunky experience.
what about touchscreen?
Oh, no, I'm
God,
not
the
talking
touchscreen
about that.
stuff was
I'm
so
not even
bad.
talking about that. But like for games that are like that are that old, like the feel really isn't what I'm looking for there. Like, I don't want it to be as clunky as it was.
No, I get that. I agree with you on that. Like, yeah, definitely. Like, updating the controls, updating like the aiming systems, things like that, modernizing that experience. But I mean, like, getting in one of the cars and having it drive completely differently, and things like that. The running mechanic looking, so far different that it could be a different game. Like, little things like that. Like, I want to still feel like I'm playing the same game. Otherwise, I'd probably rather just get the original experience.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. You always have the original experience to go
Yeah,
back
that's
to
true.
too. Like that's kind of like
unless it's a
the
Blizzard
Mafia
game.
Well, yeah, but the Mafia remake is probably a pretty good example of what we'd probably be looking for. When they redid the original Mafia. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but it's quite good. So
I don't know. The way I see it with the whole engine thing is there's a few possibilities. It's either the game dev studio that, like, obviously Rockstar isn't handling this. They just want to outsource it, as shown by the mobile ports. They just outsource it and don't worry about it. So I think it's either that the company that they bought, the one I can't remember the name of right now, that works on the Master Chief Collection, they're obviously familiar with Unreal Engine 4 to some level, so they're probably an Unreal Engine 4 studio. They probably don't want to make them work in Rage because they have no intention to make them work on the bigger projects. Maybe they want to keep them as like classic or something. I don't know. So maybe it's full Unreal Engine 4. Maybe it's Unreal Engine 4 is just the renderer and the actual game logic is still the old engine. So it would feel the same, but just have shiny graphics, like the mobile versions. Or it could just be the Unreal Engine 4's, just a launcher. I don't know. Unreal Engine 4 is involved somehow, according to the rumors. If we're just going to believe the rumors wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
From just Kotaku, of all places.
But there's an element where it could just be a small part of it. So
yeah.
Yeah.
It's I can't quite remember what they say in the actual article. But it's like Unreal Engine 4 is just mentioned. It's not like, they just say it. UE4 or something. I don't know. But to me, like, reading it, they say, like, the UI for the games is being updated too, blah, blah, blah. It just sounds like the mobile port all over again. Like,
I hope not, because they were terrible.
I really wouldn't be shocked if it just came out and it was just the mobile version.
Oh my god, surely not.
I don't
be
know.
terrible.
I mean,
But
they've
yeah,
had so much, like, they don't make other games anymore. Like, they've got so much time to be able to devote to something like this.
No, no. They don't, because every single person is working on GTA 6 all at once, all the time. They don't have time to do it. They just
I know,
their
but like
games are
that's the
stupid big scope.
I know, but that's the perception that people will have.
Yeah,
People will
of
be
course.
expecting more from a remaster of these because there's nothing else that Rockstar are putting out. Like,
I don't think Rockstar care is the thing.
well, yeah, that's true.
King of the world, they can do whatever the hell they
Yeah,
want.
that's true.
And GTA 5 shows that get every single employee you have to work on this game for 8 years or whatever, it works.
Yeah,
GTA 5 is still the biggest media property ever. More than any film, more than any book, right? It's sold more than the Bible, probably. I don't know.
yeah.
Right? There's a
God
lot
bless.
of GTA 5. So yeah, it works. Red Dead Redemption 2 didn't make that much more money, but it's still a lot. Like they go for the, like I say all the time, like the level of polish and scope in Rockstar's latest games are just insane. Right?
Yeah.
I think I've talked about it before, right? Like the characters shout when you get far apart, which means they recorded the voice line in the same like mannerisms twice.
Yeah.
Because they have to shout the line as well. The horse testicles change size, right? It's just like it's a joke, but it's like everything is like that in their games. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're all working on that, except the people who are doing online.
All five of them.
Yeah. Right. So the Racing Corner. There's only one little thing to mention about this.
Didn't we miss Broughy iRacing updates?
Oh yeah, we did. We skipped over that. I mean, well, we can do that within Racing Corner, I suppose.
Sure. Yeah.
We're coming to the end of the season. I've doing my first full season in the Masters. We got one more round to go on Laguna Seca. It's gone well.
One of my favorite tracks. Love
Laguna Seca. You should tune in when I race on Laguna Seca.
I will try my best.
Yeah. When will it
You're
be?
not awake when it happens, right?
Will it be? I don't even know when it'll be.
He won't be awake, surely.
It was going to be Wednesday, but isn't there some sort of like day off Twitch on Wednesday or something? That would be when I would be streaming iRacing. So I don't know. Maybe it'll be Thursday or Tuesday. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out.
Is that a thing? What?
I think it's. I need to read up on it. Hammer sent me the details. Like it's protesting the hate raids. I think that is happening on Twitch now.
What? Hold on. Hold up. What? What's happening?
The hate raids are a thing on Twitch now.
Yeah, I know that.
And the community are sick of it, I think. And because Twitch aren't doing anything about it, people are saying like, no streaming on Twitch on the 1st of September or something like that, like as a protest.
No streaming and no viewing.
No streaming and no viewing. Okay.
1st of September. Yes. Wait, is that next week? Yes, I'll be at my parents' house. Woohoo! I won't anyway. I'm supporting the cause.
Supporting the cause.
That's what I was hoping. I was hoping
it's-
it was just like a good bit. I wasn't really paying that much attention to it until it was pointed out that that was the day where I would normally be streaming, and now I need to actually look at it properly and think about it.
Yeah, it is a shit thing, but yeah, so we need to talk about it. Like, just
And
moderation
so Twitch
tools.
put up a tweet saying September is starting on the 2nd.
Yeah.
I love Twitch.
But September is so bad as well. I think like it's isn't it like it's like 20% off new subs or
It's
something.
September all the time with the cheaper subs. Who cares? Like,
September was good the first year, and then ever since it's just been
It was great. The first year
garbage.
wasn't it half price subs.
Oh yeah, that was what it was, wasn't it? Half price subs.
Yeah,
That was
insane.
that was
first one.
really good.
and now we have it all of the time.
What's a hate raid? It's when people like send
You find
bots
step 1, find a
flooding.
minority. Step 2, send a load of bots or a load of your
I love
angry viewers
minorities.
to them. Step 3, spam degenerate things about their minority. Right?
Yes,
Just that. It's awful.
it's very simple. It's very boring.
Yeah. But it's just moderation tools and Twitch are really shit. There were
Yeah.
one time when I was getting attacked by bots, And I thought, no problem, I'll program my own bot to like ban them. And I did, but the problem is the rate limit on how often I can send the commands to Twitch was slower than the rate that the bots were spamming me, so I couldn't ban them all fast enough. It's just shit like that.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not allowed to ban fast enough by the rules, but the people who are breaking the rules are not obeying that limit. It's like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a video that I posted recently on Twitter. Well, I retweeted on Twitter, and it was a guy that was basically doing exactly what you were doing, Josh. He was trying to like show how inadequate Twitch's response to this was, which was basically use the tools we've provided for you. And he's gone like, right, well, if I want to ban the word jogger, for example, I have to go through every single different variation of jogger using all different types of Cyrillic characters and all these manners, and there was 21 million different variations of the word that ended up running through. And if he had to do that, then his bot would be running non-stop for like 72 days.
Yeah, I
so
remember
like,
watching that.
it's completely impossible.
Yeah.
And this is the problem for programmers, right? Like, what are normal people supposed to do? It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So iRacing.
Sorry.
That would be next. That would be some point next week, on the goodness sake, of the final season. But I hit my goal. My goal at the start of the season was to do a top split race in the Masters, be part of that top 12 drivers who were racing at that moment. And it happened. I got one of those races. And I finished second. Like, what? It was such a crazy race.
Oh, only second in top split. Oh, not good enough. Oh, right. Meanwhile, me never been in top split in anything populated.
I was happy though about that. You can't. Josh was complaining about me for being like unhappy at a third place in the pre-show, but I was happy about that second in top split. Like I was. I was excited about
pre-show, that. Yeah. Broughy gets upset when he doesn't win races. Meanwhile, it's like Broughy turns on his iRacing stream. Right? He's like, oh, let's watch top split race. He watches them for like 20 minutes until he gets bored. And then he practices the track for like another 40 minutes until the race starts. And then he just joins the race, gets into second or top split, and comes home like top 3 every fucking time. Meanwhile, me, I a new track and car combo, I sit down for like a whole day and practice it until I'm somewhat competent. And then I go and drive, and then I poodle home like, oh, I got a 10th and didn't die. Yay! Right, you know. Flipping Broughy. Just... It's doing super well, and it's still like, oh, it's not quite good enough. And I'm sat there just watching. You keep asking me for advice, and it's just like, I just want to tell you, Broughy, you're better than me. Just figure it out, right? You've surpassed me. His I rate. What is your I rating now?
1860 something, I think.
Yeah, like one or two more second places, and you'll be higher than I've ever been in my entire like 5 years of I rating. Like, like stop. Stop.
I don't know.
Damn it, you're like, oh, I don't want to leave the Mazdas, or the GT3 is too far. I'm driving LMP2s, and I'm like way worse than you. Just drive whatever, man. You're way better than most people. But God damn it.
I mean, thank you for saying that. I don't know. I don't believe that kind of stuff. I have like chronic imposter syndrome, I guess, for like everything.
Well, you're giving it to me now, watching you.
It's contagious.
Oh man! All right. Well,
I'm vaccinated against it, though. I have therapy, so I'm vaccinated.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I need to give some thought about what I do next season and what I drive, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you had that one bad experience in the Ferrari because you had a shit brake pedal and kept not like locking up all the time.
Yeah, that.
And then you were like, "Oh, I'm gonna drive Mazdas. I'm not good enough." It's like, damn it, bro. Seriously, try like an IndyCar or an LMP2 or something. You'll be fine.
I'm pretty happy that I did the Masters though. Like, it has given me a good experience, and I've learned a lot in the Masters this first season. That I think is going to help. Like, I know people say just get out of Masters straight away, but I found it valuable.
As soon as that one stream where you were talking about, I got out, you saw someone coming towards you in the mirror, right? And you got out of the way and just let them pass you, right? And you
Yeah.
just let them go. And you're like, oh, self-preservation works. So as soon as you learnt that, the bird had left the nest. Right? You're an iRacer, you did it.
And then
Just
in the
if
end,
there's
doing that got me the second place in top split, right?
Yeah. Exactly. That's a perfect demonstration. Just like, as soon as you've learnt that, you're way better than most people. If there's a guy you're scared of, get out of his way and let him kill someone else.
Yeah.
And then you'll gain 2 positions instead of losing 1.
Yeah.
Right? Like it. Yeah.
So yeah, that's going well.
I know I've learned a lot in my Mazda, so it is no surprise.
Continuing the racing corner, Eau Rouge has been the scene of many accidents lately in many formulas, and there was a specific one yesterday in the W series. No comments, Nos.
Women.
God damn it. I'll show it. This was qualifying, and it just started to rain at this part of the track, and it was absolute carnage. Thankfully, they're all fine, but I honestly thought someone would have had some really serious injuries from this because it was ridiculous.
Well, what's funny is you're showing this as if it's the latest example, but it isn't, because another one happened like an hour before the podcast.
Yeah, that's true. It was these secondary hits that, like, and then this last one there that, like,
there's one more,
and then one upside down, and
wait, there's one more that hits them, isn't there?
No, I think it was this black one.
How does that happen right there? What happened?
Well,
Wet
it was
track.
wet, so they all went wide, and it just like it would started raining like locally here, so they kind of all slid wide here, and then everybody did exactly the same thing.
Or what?
And it's also blind, so like you just can't see what's going on in front.
Yeah, this corner is super deadly because it's a left, right, up, and downhill.
Yeah,
So
I know the
when-
corner.
When you go, I'm explaining the audience.
The audience.
When you go uphill in a car, the ground is being pushed into you, so you have more grip, you have more downforce, basically. But as soon as you go downhill or you come off the crest or whatever, you lose grip. Surely some of you felt it. You go over a certain hill in a car and your tummy feels whatever, right? You lose your weight.
Or
the
your
tires
wheels
lose grip.
come off the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my favorite.
But then
That's
you have no grip, right? And it's also a left, right, and it's blind because you can't see up the hill. This is like one of the toughest corners in motorsport. But yeah, watching that crash is terrifying because as a motorsport fan, you learn to fear the secondary crash because car crash structures are designed to take one big hit and crumple and absorb all the energy and then nothing else.
Yeah.
People die because one part of the car takes a big shunt and then they get hit in the same place again and there's nothing left. That's how people die in motorsport. So that secondary crash stuff is all terrifying, but thankfully they're all somehow fine.
Yeah, I mean, I actually saw like a viewer from the side of the track who recorded it first, and I thought, wow, that's a really big crash. And then the black car came in right at the very end, just as the video cut off, and I was like, oh my god, someone's dead.
Exactly.
I couldn't believe that nobody died in that. That was where Antoine Hubert died like 2 years ago, I think, now in Formula 2. Like, and then Lando Norris had the crash today in qualifying. It's tricky.
Massive, nasty crash where he's like, the whole car's destroyed and he's spinning and stuff.
Yeah.
But this isn't the only thing. We're not just bringing it up because 2 crashes have happened. It's just been non-stop. Like,
the last few months, it feels.
They had the Spa 24, didn't they? And they had several incidents in this corner. One really bad one. I don't remember the details, but it was similar to the one we just watched, where like one car crashes, and the way the corner is structured, there's like a like forest or hill on one side and a cliff on the other, so they can't build the barriers any further away.
Yeah.
So some people, the Lambo, some people crash into the barrier and then bounce back on the track, and it's a blind uphill. So people storm up the hill and then slam into the people.
Yeah,
so
the people coming can't see that someone's bounced back across the track, and it just causes more crashes. Yeah.
Do they not have? Do the spotters not able to react?
There's
Fast enough, I guess.
no spotters in European racing, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know
NASCAR, you get left, right, but not.
But I don't. I think in
anyway,
some of these crashes, the spotters would, if they were spotters, they wouldn't be able to react in time to that anyway.
sure, maybe, yeah, but yeah, it's way too fast. There's yellow flags and stuff, so people know to slow down. But anyway, yeah, it's ridiculous. It was a very similar crash like that, and there's that GT car one that was the Spa 24 Hours, I think. The main car that was in the crash was like in just the frame of it. There was no bodywork left. It was just the frame at the end of the crash. It was really horrible. But yeah, people are talking about, something's going to have to change with this corner. But it's like a historic, really cool. It's like the centerpiece of the whole track. It's famous corner, and it's worrying what's going to happen to it. But
best corner in motorsport. It's the best corner in motorsport. There's no.
Yeah, it's
arguably,
iconic. But they've announced that they're doing like 80 million euro. Like they've had 80 million euro investment or something. So they're going to be like doing a lot of upgrades to Spa, and one of them is working on that track and putting gravel in because they want bikes to be there and things. And I think they're not. They've said specifically that they're not going to like re-profile any of the circuit, but they are going to like try and fix the corner, at least from a safety perspective, and try to have better barrier systems and things in place. I don't know what they can do because, like you said, it's like there's a hill right there.
Yeah, it's on the hill.
Sorry. The only thing that I could think of is like putting like a massive billboard at the top of the hill showing what was happening at the top of the hill so that the drivers could see it on the way up. But
look at that.
I know, that's the only thing.
They can't look at the billboard.
I mean, if they're going with like gravel there, maybe it's just better to have cars just be stopped in the gravel and then they can't continue in the race, because it feels like these crashes have happened more in that corner since they paved it all over. Because cars can now go into the barriers at higher speeds because they don't get slowed down by the gravel, and then they bounce back across the track, and that's where the bigger crashes happen.
Yeah, the problem with gravel is it causes problems for like the track owners don't want gravel because most of their money come from track days.
Yeah.
And all the newbies, like the rich old dudes in their sports cars, don't want to drive into gravel, fuck up the underside and the paint of their car, get stuck, have to wait for a tow truck, and they have to red flag the session for all the other rich people while someone gets dragged out of the gravel, right? They don't want it.
Yeah.
So
tough.
Yeah,
well,
they
said
on a good track.
They have said that they are putting gravel back in places, so we'll see if that's one of the places.
Yeah, but yeah, it's also a problem for motorbikes as well, because gravel's dangerous for them and stuff. It's all compromises.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they do something, because it's too dangerous at the minute. At least there's been a significant run for the last few months of really bad accidents there.
Yeah, but I mean, it was already a really bad accident run when Hubert died, right?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, Hubert died, was a freak accident or whatever, but it just keeps fucking happening. So
yeah.
And
then Speedrun Corner, you got nothing for Speedrun Corner?
No, nothing's really happened in speedruns.
So
the usual.
Is anybody actually in the phone bank or not?
2 people have been waiting a very long time.
Yes,
oh wow, okay.
There are.
All right.
We'll go for the person that's not muted first of all, just to just in
we
case.
pull him in and we hear the audio from the podcast.
That's right. Here comes Papa Vantve.
But
Hello, welcome to the podcast. You have a question?
You can hear the. Oh, never mind. I got it muted now.
Hello,
gentlemen. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Nice meme.
Nice, like it.
Okay, so who's your question for, and what is your question?
Questions for Broughy. He and I are similar in a way, that we are either married to or dating somebody who is from another country with another language. So the big question is, are you... how is it going with the learning of the different language?
Okay.
Adam pratar inte svenska.
Nej.
Nej. Ja, nej.
Jag talar svenska. No, lite svenska. Lite svenska.
Lite svenska, yeah.
I don't know whether the right word there is talar or prata. I think you can use them interchangeably. I do know a little bit, and I'm getting there, but I do like only a small amount every day, sort of thing, trying to keep up on it. I think it would go a lot quicker if I was actually in Sweden and I was just hearing it all the time. But Zexi tries to speak to me in Swedish sometimes, and I try to answer. It's going very slowly, but I know some words, and I can understand it from people speaking it more than I can say it myself. That's what I'm finding the most tricky, is being able to speak it. But
those just seem like hard words to make your mouth do. Like, you know what I'm saying?
There are some crazy like R sounds you need to make. Like, I can't do.
Yeah, I can't roll my tongue, so there's some words that require that sort of thing. But it's okay. I'm learning all the time. But I'm by no means able to speak it with anybody, and even broken at this point. Josh, how do you know Swedish?
I know that one phrase as a joke.
Oh, okay.
Because I go to Sweden for the ESA speedrunning thing.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I know how to say I don't speak Swedish as a joke. That's it. I want to learn, but yeah, it's hard. I'm dyslexic, so it's really difficult.
It is hard. It's so hard to learn. I've always found it difficult, even at school when I was doing French. I mean, I just never used to like French, but I find it so difficult. But I'm getting there.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do when it comes to learning Jesse's language, because I hate learning things now. I'm old.
I hate learning.
Oh dear.
Yeah, you're setting your ways. You're ready
I
now.
can sit down and things will go in, but they won't stay in anymore.
Yeah.
So if I'm not super interested in it, it'll just go instantly. So
yeah, it's.
I should have taken German in high school. Then I would have known a little bit, but no.
It's and the fact that the world is so Englishified, like all
it's great.
It's good for us, but it doesn't help us feel the need to be able to learn any other language when most people would at least understand English.
That's the thing. Both of our girlfriends speak perfect English.
I know.
It's like
there's no need to learn.
Mine does too.
Yeah, we can all speak English. No, I try.
It's truly the superior language.
It really isn't. English is a terrible language.
Zexi's in the chat now. How's my Swedish coming along? Someone just asked that question, Zexi, and of me, and I feel like it's pretty bad. We'll see what she says. Yeah, interesting question, Papa Van. Well, do you tell me, Papa Van Twee, how's your other language learning?
Being an American,
Amen, brother.
it's difficult because we are set up for one language basically here, and learning another language, learning Dutch, which in its own also has its own hard things to pronounce. I've been doing it for 20 years, and my kids have just started like last year or two, and they're starting to pass me already because they're actually in a class and learning it. So,
and they're kids. Feels like it's so much easier to learn languages the younger that you are.
I was 30 when I started, so
yeah,
I wasn't too bad.
I am. Well, thank you for the question, Papa.
No problem.
Yeah,
Good to be on. Thank you, guys.
Really, I'm less disappointed in that question than I thought I would be when you said it was for Bruff. That was actually a good question.
Thank you.
Thank you, Papa.
No, leaves.
No, you got dragged out. Really.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Andre.
Yo, Andre, welcome to the Choking Hazard podcast. Who's your question for, and what is your question?
Hello, this is a question for everyone. And if you go to Twitch channel settings, in the featured content section, there's one little feature called auto hosting. So my question to all of you is, which Twitch channels are you in your auto host list and why? Maybe there are some funny stories related to hostings or.
I bet you all three of our answers are the same.
I'd be impressed if they were.
Oh, do you have do you have people in your auto host list?
I used to auto host a lot more people, but I've reduced it.
I have auto host off. Like I don't auto host anybody.
So let me. I'm just trying to
But
find.
I have auto host on, but for one person, and it's Xerxes. So I'm almost like you, Nos. If Xerxes wasn't around, it would be off as well, I think.
So, oh yeah, I remember. So I used to have ESA in my auto host list, but then they started doing reruns, and that messed it up. So I stopped doing that. But I have my second channel in my auto host list at the top, so Botimus. So when I stream like low effort stuff on my second channel, it auto hosts that. That makes a lot of sense. I have the old speedrunning podcast I used to be on in here that probably should get removed. Then I've got Emma in my auto host list, yeah. And then I have GTA Marathon, which is like the GTA speedrun community's speedrun marathon in the list as well. So yeah, there's a few things. I remember back in like 2013, 14, like teams and stuff like that used to be a really big deal. I don't know if any of you guys know what a team is.
I remember. Yeah, I remember.
I'm still on manager and part of the Nonchalant Dominance team.
Right.
Yes.
A big deal back in my day was getting on the Speedruns Live team, and I'm still on that, and I'm still like using it as my main team or whatever. So I like that one. So you go on that team now, and it's just a bunch of old boy speedrunners from a million years ago. And then you have the GTA speedrunning community team as well. Yeah, that's it.
I think the reason that I didn't have more people on my auto hosted, especially when it first came out, is because it used to just take up the entire page, and people like it. I wanted people to be able to see all my info and about section and any info, like if I'm not streaming, schedule for when I am going to be streaming next and stuff. And the auto host would just take up that whole thing and be like, okay, well,
I mean, I know in my experience on Twitch, when I go to someone's channel, I want to see their content, not somebody else's. Yeah. So, like, if I wanted to see that somebody else's content, I'd go watch their stream.
Well, the things I was auto hosting were the things I was probably also on, right?
Yeah. See, that's different. Like with with units like Bruff and Zerx or you and Emma, like that's kind of different than just like this is my other like online friend that also plays GTA. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I'm good.
How about you? How do you have anybody?
Mine's mainly just people that I know from Twitch, but also like because on my channel I've got like a channel points reward for leading the raid at the end of the stream, so somebody can choose someone to raid. So, like I've met people through that, and I've added them to my auto host. I've also recently just dived into that's maybe not the right choice of words, dived into drag queen content on Twitch.
Amen. Yes, sir.
Loads and loads of drag queens on Twitch, and they're all absolutely amazing. Yeah, there's a drag tag on Twitch.
There's a drag tag? What?
There is a drag tag. Yeah.
Bro, wow. What? Hold on.
So
let me find this.
I've recently befriended one of the largest. Well, that's a wrong choice of words as well. One of the largest drag queens in in Europe. So she's fantastic. Is she hungry?
Is she hungry? That's the name?
Yeah, she's got. Like
That's fantastic.
400,000 followers on Insta. So, yeah. So, like, I host a bunch of drag queens on my auto host as well. So
that's awesome. I like that.
Emma is freaking out in the chat because she loves watching drag queens as well.
Well, there you go.
Man, what
totally
you know
oblivious that
about
this was a thing.
I can hit you up with some good recommendations if you want.
That would be
so
fantastic.
funny with you were talking about teams and whatnot, because the drag queens on Twitch mainly run under one team called the Stream Queens. If anybody's interested, so shout out to the Stream Queens.
Yo, big ups to the Stream Queen.
Yep. They mainly stream Dead by Daylight. That seems to be the drag queen game of choice.
That's the drag queen game of choice. Why?
Dunno. Just is.
We need to speak with them. We need to meet the council
Dead
and
by
ask them
Daylight
why.
is very popular. Yeah.
Well, I mean, in the end, Andrew, your question gave us a good story with the hammer saved.
Yes, I'm
saved
so
the question.
satisfied.
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you for the question.
You're welcome.
And that'll do us.
Stream queens, dude. Yes.
Ending the stream on drag queens.
Man, I'm gonna lip sync for my life right now.
This leads into stream after dark content. Pretty good.
Oh yes.
Right, so we'll see you guys next month, where we'll do this all over again and talk more crap and have more life updates. Maybe Josh will have another new bike.
This one was £2,000.
Yeah.
I'm bankrupt. Woo!
Josh done quick 4 happening next week. All right. Thank you guys very much for watching and sticking with us in this podcast. Do you guys want to say bye?
Bye. As soon as this ends, I'm riding my bike because I haven't yet today.
Immediately riding the bike.
All right. Cheers, guys. See you all later. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.